Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Sunil Shah. Today I would be covering up the topic called Welfare of the Workers under the Factories Act, which is there in the Sem 2 and which is there in Unit 3 of the class called FYBMS. Students, as you are aware, the factory was being developed in India as well as in worldwide. In Great Britain, the second half of the 18th century, there was a rapid growth of the industrial and towns and the factories. And it was started without planning. The employed workers, the women as well as the children who were working in those particular time, was needed to work for more than 12 hours to get a salary or the wages, which was very small. After some time, some modification, the final amendment of the Factories Act, which came into force, was in 1948, and which was is still applicable in India. Factories Act in India. In India, Factories Act was passed in 1881. That was 200 years back. This act was basically designed to protect the children and provide few measures of health and safety, as well as of the welfare of the workers. The law was applicable only for those factories which was employed with 100 workers or more than 100 workers. As per the time change in 1891, the Factories Act was applicable and extended to the factories where the workers were more than 50 or more. So in 1881, it was 100 and more than 100 workers, and in 1891, the amendment, the extension of the Factories Act took place, and the workers were which were being covered was 50 or more. What does the Factories Act include? It includes health, safety, welfare, working hours of the adults in the factory, and the annual leave with wages. Coming to the definition of the factory, factory is defined under Section 2M of the Factories Act 1948, which provides the safeguard for the workers to protect the health, provides for the safety at the workplace and dealing with the machinery, which improves the physical condition of the workplace and provides the welfare amenities. Only factories which are covered under the Factories Act, where this particular act would be applicable, where more than 500 in those particular area, more than that was 200 years back in 1891, but now the changes have been done. The factories definition is applicable to those factories where the workers are more than 20, where they are using without the aid of power, or 10 or more workers were with using the instruments with the aid of power, which should be 10 or more than 10. Coming to the important definitions which has been defined under the Factories Act, day means 24 hours beginning at the midnight, week means 7 days beginning from the midnight of the Saturday night, calendar year means 12 months beginning with the first day of the January in any year, power means electrical energy or any other form of energy which is mechanically transmitted and it is not generated by human or animal agency. Prime mover in case of factory means an engine, motor or other appliances which generate or otherwise provides power. Coming to the introduction part under the Factories Act, which has been classified into three parts, which are more is health, safety of the workers and the welfare activities of the worker. Under the health, under the chapter 3, which deals with the section 11 to section 20 of the Factories Act, which provides with the health of the worker should be kept in particular standards that has been mentioned, which deals with the provision related to the health of the workers in a factory. Under the second part, that is B part, that is the safety, chapter 4 of the Factories Act deals with the provisions related to the safety of the workers in a factory. Coming to the third part, that is called safety, third part which is called as welfare. There are many welfare provisions mentioned under the Factories Act, which is mentioned in the part C. Coming to the provisions related to the health, section 11 defines the cleanliness aspect, section 12 deals with the disposal of waste and effluent, section 13 deals with the ventilation and the temperature of the factories, section 14 deals with the dust and the fumes of the factories, section 15 deals with the artificial humidification which is necessary under the Factories Act. Section 16 speaks about the overcrowding, how much number of workers should be taken during the factory, and section 17 deals with the lighting aspect, whether the factory should be illuminated with the light source, that would be dealt under section 17. Section 18 deals with the drinking water, where the drinking water should be kept, what type of marking should be kept on that particular instrument and how it should be provided to the workers, that is dealt under the section 18. Section 19 speaks about the urinals and the latrines. There should be two separate urinals for males as well as female workers, and it should be written specifically or there should be screen in between them. Section 20 speaks about the spittoons, where the spittoons should be kept and how it should be cleaned. So regarding the health, we will be speaking about this main aspect, that is section 11 to section 20. Section 21 to section 31 speaks about the safety of the health of the workers. Regarding the safety, section 21 speaks about the fencing of the machinery. Section 22 speaks about the work on or nearby machinery in motion. Section 23 speaks about the employment of the young persons or which are working on dangerous machine. Section 24 speaks about the striking gas and the devices for cutting off the power. Section 25 speaks about the self-acting machines, how the cash should be taken out for the self-acting machines. Section 26 speaks about the casing of the new machinery. That means how the machinery should be cased properly. Section 27 speaks about prohibition of the employment of the women and children near the cotton openers, because when the persons who are working, women or the children, when they are working in the cotton particles goes into the nostrils and it blocks the lungs, in case of females as well as for the young children. Section 28 and section 29 speaks about the hoist, lifting and lifting of the machineries and other parts of the machines. Section 30 speaks about the revolving machines, how the care should be taken out for the revolving machines, and the section 31 speaks about the pressure plants. When the machines are working in motion, whatever pressure should be kept and how the safety should be done for the pressure plants. Coming to the main parts, I am covering up, students, I will be covering up the main parts under the health aspect, the welfare activities of the workers. Section 22 speaks about the welfare activities, that is speaking about the washing facilities. Students, this section speaks about the every factory should have maintain adequate, sufficient washing facility for the workers. Separate and properly screened facilities for men and women shall be provided separately. When they are washing the clothes, there should be separation between the men and women, and that should be screened properly. Section 43 speaks about drying and storing of the clothes. Well, students, please remember, the factors, the workers will go into the normal clothes and they will change the clothes over there, and sometimes it is necessary to clean that clothes if some particles are been spread during the course of their employment. In case of the hotel industries, there should be a proper device, that is called washing machine, should be provided, and it should be stored properly after ironing. The government of the state has the power to direct the factories about the position where the workers should keep their clothes. Section also 43 also speaks that there should be the workers should be guided where the clothes has to be dried. The workers cannot dry their clothes anywhere in the factory premises. Section 44 speaks about the facilities for seating. Students, as you are aware, the workers who are working in any of the factory, they are standing up for the long duration, that is nearly about 4 to 5 hours, they would be having a back pain. So if there is no such provisions which have been kept for the workers who should stand only and he should not sit, there should be a provisions under the Factories Act. That means if it is necessity, if the machines are moving and it is necessary that they should only watch the motion of the machines, in such cases the workers are allowed or permitted to sit near the machines. Some of them require the workers stand for the longer period. The factory will have suitable sitting arrangement for the staff. It is significant that he or she workers has to relax while sitting, and the workers can get free time. It also improves the efficiency when the workers are sitting while they are doing the work. If the chief inspector feels that the workers can do his job more efficiently while sitting, then he can order the officers of the factory managers to arrange for the workers the place to sit. As you are aware, in a factory that may or may not have accident, but we should always keep the first aid box ready, as well as the ambulance should be provided in the factory premises when there are more than stipulated number of workers. Section 45 speaks on about them. Under the Factories Act, Section 45 speaks about the first aid appliances. The factory should supply and maintain the appropriate first aid box in each workroom. Under the Act, the number of boxes for every 100 or 50 employees should be not less than 1. So there should be at least 1 or more than 1 first aid boxes. Also, according to that Act, the first aid boxes will have necessary content. The content in the first aid box here, they should mention whether they are having the paracetamols or the iodine cream, or there is a cotton, or there is a antiseptic cream as well as antiseptic lotions are there. They should also have some anti-vomiting tablets, and it should be mentioned in their first aid kit. There should be prescribed contain in the first aid box. Each box should have that in charge. He will be taking the control of the first aid box, and will handle, and this particular person will handle that particular first aid box. A first aid specialist should be there, who should be in charge. In case of number of worker exceeds 500, according to the Factory Act, there should be ambulance room with a special doctors or specially trained staff who will take care of immediate emergency, with having the all necessary equipments like oxygen, masks and nebulizer. Section 46 speaks about the canteen. In the factory, there should be a canteen for the workers. Those workers who are working in an organization, those who are working hard work, they need to have a good and sufficient balanced diet. In such cases, the factory owners should keep, in the factory, they should permit them to have the food in the canteen, and the food should be provided to the workers at the subsidized rate. Please be remember that the factory manager should provide such type of food which should be nutritious, and it should be having the proteins, carbohydrate as well as the balance rich of source of minerals as well as the vitamins. In any factory where the number of workers who are employed in a factory should be more than 250, there should be a proper canteen, and the state government should provide that particular place for under the factory to set up the factory. However, the construction for the canteen, the government should lay down the certain terms and conditions, the norms related to canteen building, the accommodation, the furniture should be also being provided. The food should be eaten properly, and the canteen should be given open, and the time should be mentioned in that. There should be a setting of canteen management committee also under the Factories Act. Section 47 speaks about the shelter rooms, restrooms and lunch rooms. If the number of employees are more than 150, the owners should build tents, restrooms and lunch rooms, so that the workers, after taking their food, they can rest, so that the efficiency of the workers will be increased. There should be proper ventilation and lightnings of the tents, restroom and the lunch rooms. Coming to the main part, that is the crutches, those workers who are widow or those persons who are female workers who are working in organization, if the number of workers are more than 30 and 30 female workers are working in a factory, there should be a setup of the crutches, so that the female workers should come with that particular child who should be less than 6 years. They are been permitted to be taken into the factory, and that particular woman should be in charge of the crutches, and they should take care of that particular food should be provided to that the children of that particular worker, and this particular staff should take care of that particular children while the woman who is working in a factory. If the number of female employees reaches 30, the factory will provide a separate room for the children who are under the age of 6 years. The room of the children should be well lighted and ventilated, and there should be a proper daycare for the female workers' child. Coming to the conclusion, the last part, under the Factories Act, what is the welfare? Inadequate provisions of the safety measures will lead into increase of number of accidents. Human errors due to the carelessness, negligence, poor ability and insufficient supervision have led to accidents and the consequent need to intervention. So under the welfare, the factory manager should take about the welfare activities for the workers, male and female, so that their output would be better and the factory would be running into profits. Thank you from my side.